Hey guys, welcome back. This is Faisal Khan, and in this video I'm going to walk you through our first lab in Webex Contact Center. So the first lab, our objective is to get understanding on the Webex Control Hub, as well as how to access the Contact Center Management Portal. And at the end of this video, you should be able to maneuver through Webex Control Hub, as well as managing the contact center's interfaces. All right, so in order for you to understand this, make sure that you do have an appropriate account. If you don't have an account, so feel free to contact VoiceBootcamp. We'll help you get a lab access if you are one of our clients. So when you go to admin.webex.com, you will get a login prompt. You enter your username and password, and usually this is the place where you will first come in. Now here, if it's the first time that you are accessing your platform, you can use the Webex settings. You can click on Start Using Webex, follow, which is basically for messaging and meeting. And then if you want the voice stuff to work, you're gonna configure the calling part. If you want to add a phone, you will add the devices, and of course you can set up your contact center right here. So we're gonna start with setting the calling part first, because we're gonna need some username and password. So as you can see, there are two phone numbers are already there. We have contact center defined already. On the left hand side you have users, and you can manage users by adding users manually. So I'll just use an email address. So you can add 3 or as many domain. Now make sure that you do own the domain. In some cases your company may require you to have appropriate restriction in place. Only certain domains are allowed. So what we need here is, under the calling, we do need the calling professional license. Now do not check this if you want the user to be able to use a Webex app to make a call outbound, inbound. If you use this, that means you're going to register to the call manager, which we don't intention to do that right now. Under the contact center, there are some license enabled. Standard agent license, I will make them a standard agent at this moment, and if I need to change that later, these 3 users will have appropriate license at the later time. So another license are automatically applied. You have some meeting advanced license, which is we don't really need it at this moment, but if you do feel that you do need it, so make sure you are assigned to that. So I'm going to assign myself Webex Meeting Suite, as well as some real-time transaction, just for the fun of it. All right, so that's all the licenses available. There are some advanced licensing available to you, so feel free to use that if you want to. All right, so let's click next. Now the location, I'm going to choose my site. Currently I have only site number 1, and here you have the phone numbers applied. I'm not going to assign any of these phone numbers at this moment. However, I can assign the extensions if I want to. So I'm going to say 5001, 5002, 5003. Now you don't, again, you can always change it if you feel that it's necessary to change. So feel free to, don't worry about this stuff right now. So here is the message that we got, error message that one user added. Some reason the domain was not 1 and domain 2 is not verified, but some reason domain 3 is verified. That's very weird. All right, so let's go and find out why why this domain, which was not verified, was added. Okay, so it seems like I can only add anybody from this domain. So let's try this, if I can add a user from this domain. Okay. So this is why important I say that it's very important that your domain is verified. So what I'll do, I'll just simply send vj at So I'll add it this way. David Smith, David at okay, so I'll just add these three. Let's make it 4. So as you can see, my 3 users is added. So it's extremely important that you pay attention to the domain. You cannot just go ahead and add any domain that you want. The domain has to be verified. Now, if you want to verify the domain, as you can see, it says, well, these users are not verified, simply because I haven't sent an email to them. So that's why they're not going to be verified at this moment. This particular domain that I have is created by Cisco as a kind of like a sandbox, so I don't have an ability to verify the email, right? Because those emails does not exist. So the question is, what if I want to add more domain? Okay, so you would probably want to go to the organization settings and you scroll down until you see the domain information. So somewhere here you got domain, right? And you can add a new domain if you want. So let's say vbcpod1.com, and you can add vbcpod2.com, and pod3.com. Now, obviously, it is your responsibility to verify this domain, and you can always verify that by following certain steps like retrieve verification token, or verify your domain by following these texts. So I'm going to go and show you how this is done. All right, so it says to verify the domain, you do need access to your DNS. So I'm going to go into my DNS and follow this configuration. So I'm going to log into my Amazon. I use Amazon Route 53. So I'll go to the Route 53, and for each domain I do need to add a text record, right? So let's say I'll start with the verified domain, and it's going to say please copy the following contacts into a text record, okay, for this domain. So I'm going to copy that and go to my domain, and I have about quite a bit of domain myself. So you're going to look for text record. So here is the text entry I have, txt, for VBC pod 1, and I just have to add that entry right here at the very end. Okay, so as you can see, now I had one before. I'm just going to remove that. Oh, sorry, make sure that I don't remove the wrong one. Yeah, so I'm going to remove this. Okay, so Cisco, well, you know what? Let's not remove anything, just add it again, a new one. All right, so I have added that entries. I can click on save. And basically what's going to do is Cisco will contact this domain and look at this record and see if that Cisco verification is there or not. Now the thing about this is that it may take some time to verify, so you may want to wait a little bit before you try it. If you click on verify now, it may not happen right away. Okay, so but in my case it is verified now. So I can go ahead and add verify the second one. So I can copy this entry to my next domain. save, and final would be the 3. So this is verified. So some domain takes about 4 hours to 24 hours, an hour, sometime maybe 15 minutes. So be patient. It is not something that may happen right away all the time. Now Amazon is pretty good in this in an update of the domain, so that's why sometimes they're quite fast compared to other DNS that I have worked with before. All right, so as I've seen, all 3 domain is now verified. Now if I go back to my user, you should see your admin. It says that this guy has not been verified yet. This user is not a member of any group. I did receive an email, right? As you can see, I trust this, and you want to activate that. So when you activate, so it's going to ask you to create a password. So I'm going to create a password. Okay, that don't like it. Okay, we'll like this password, and it's going to say admin pod 3. I'm just going to call it agent 3. Okay. All right, so you logged in, as you can see, as a meeting, and you have your phone number right there. Well, it's probably not yet configured yet, so we're going to worry about that later. But right now, this is your contact center. So I'm going to go ahead and log out and go back to my control hub, and you see agent 3 is now active. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to add those 2 additional accounts again and see if this is going to work this time. So we're going to say agent 1. We're going to say admin at vbcpod1.com. Agent 2, admin at vbcpod3. The reason why I'm calling them agent 1, agent 2, because we're going to need them. Well, sorry. We're going to need them for our lab, contact center lab. So that's why I'm just identifying them as such. Again, I'm not overly concerned about our extension at this moment. We will always change it as if we need it. So it's telling me that admin 2 at VBC pod 2 cannot be added, and use the convert user option to move the user into this organization. Okay, so it's most probably that user 2, where's my 2? Is associated with another account. It is possible because I do have multiple accounts. Okay, so let's see if we can fix this issue. So technically you're supposed to be able to convert the user by claiming that user right here. Unfortunately, for some reason is grayed out for my account. And if you want to follow how to claim a user that may have belonged to another organization, you want to, there is a documentation available on Webex called claiming users to your organization. So basically convert. I will not be able to convert that, but I can add additional user under the VBC pod 1. So let's go and try that. So what I will do, I will add some fake email, well not email, but fake user under my VBC admin pod 1 only, okay? So I will, this is my own account with multiple aliases. So this way I can test all the users. Oops, Faisal, we can edit user. And what you want to do under alias right here, you can manage alias, and we're going to choose pod VBC pod 1, and we can add more account, right? So we can call it VJ David is this email address is already there. David, yeah, David is already there. I think let's see, David is there, Tom is there, Afcon is there. So we could use some of those accounts just for verification. It's already there, right? So let's add a few more and see if this is going to be a problem. We can say Tom at vbcpod1.com, Afcon at vbcpod1.com, and who else do we have? Oops, where did it go? I think David is there. Yeah, so David. So all in the same domain, okay? So let's see what happened now. Okay, so 3 user has been added successfully. They do need to verify, even though they are added, as you can see. So I'm going to delete this David that we no longer require, because I'm going to use the VBC Pod 1 domain as my way of my activities. So let's go delete that user. Delete. So that's verified. Delete John Doe. And delete the last one, Vijay Kumar. Now you notice how David, Afcon, Tom, they're all automatically verified. Okay. So it really did not require me to check the email and whatnot. So this is one of the advantage of this. So you can, however, reset their password. So make sure that, because you will need them to reset the password. So verified. You look at their email address, you should receive an email. So here it says, welcome to collaboration. You activate the account. I think we have already done that. Now this is for Tom. Now what we're going to do, we're going to copy this link and I'm going to open it in a cognito mode. So it's very important that you open it in a incognito mode, simply because I'm using the same browser for multiple login and it can mess up the entire password thing. So I'm just going to open it in incognito mode. It's going to ask me to change the password. So I'm going to assign the same password for all. So you want to double check by logging in. So you can say Tom at vbcpod1.com. You sign in and make sure that you have the appropriate license. So here it says reset your voicemail PIN. I'm going to reset 57219. It says 6-digit, so make sure it's a 6-digit. Now, you can always change that. That's not a problem. So we reset that. And you can click on the WebEx calling part. You will go to, now this is from the web page, right? So if you download the client, you will be able to access the client login using the WebEx client. So right now we're not going to worry about this. We're just going to make sure that our accounts are set up properly. Now I will repeat the process for Afcon. And again, make sure you put it in incognito mode. Otherwise, it's going to take up the old password or old account. Cisco is really horrible when it comes to the security token and all the thing. It's just ridiculously bad. So I want to log in, make sure that it works. And I can see I am in my account. Okay, so I'm going to sign out from here. This is the last account that I need to activate, David. So let's create the password. So we should have all three now verified. So if I come back to my users, it should be all active. You see that? FCon, you can always change their name and whatever makes sense to you, profile. So you can say Tom Malik. I don't know how it came up with that name, but just came the first thing in my mind. All right, so you see how you can manage your users and the license for your users. So if I want, so what I want to do, because the Tom, let's say FCon, which is right here, Faisal Khan, which that is me. So I'm going to say Faisal Khan, and I want myself to be the supervisor, right? So what I want to do is at the very bottom, well, first of all, you save it, and then you go to general. Sorry, not general, summary. At the very bottom, there should be license. Where is my license? Right there, licenses. As you can see, I am a standard agent, and I want to assign myself. You click on edit license as a supervisor. So I will say premium supervisor. Okay. Now, obviously, these user account that you create in Webex user are automatically synchronized with the Webex contact center that we will talk about later. Now my subscription it's a sandbox. So it's not really real account that I can do a lot, but at least I can show you all the configurations that I have. Okay, so that's it for about Webex overview about the Control Hub. Now, how do you access the contact center? So once you get through your Webex settings, make sure the user accounts, everything is there. I'll show you how to access it. Now, the few things other here you have. Under monitoring, you have this thing called analytics. This is where you can see live monitoring of your environment, such as how many calls are happening, how many devices are registered, messaging capability, right? How many people are in a meeting, what is the total meeting for average meeting per minute. So if you want to customize it, you can do that from here. You can add a dashboard if you want to customize. Some KPI charts, whatever makes sense to you. And under the meeting, you should see more details about the meeting related task. Under messages, you should see details about the messages. And then of course you got the calling, where you can get more details about the calling. Left hand side, you should see troubleshooting. Now troubleshooting gives you a little bit about some issues that you might have, or how to initiate a troubleshooting scenario. You can go to live meeting. If there is a live meeting happening, you can look at the total participant in the live meeting and the meeting with the global network. So a couple of things that you can learn about Webex Control Hub. And now we do have a separate course called Webex Calling, where we talk about this more details. You have this thing called watermark analysis. You can upload a file and start the analysis of your watermark. There are some reporting capability right there. And now, a lot of things has changed from the previous version of the contact center. Things are now mostly handled by the Control Hub as what used to be handled by the contact center before. So for example, well, you have all these things normal, which is users, you got your location, and if you want to add a device. Now, we're not going to show you how to add a device in this particular video, but in the later video, I'll show you how to add devices here. Okay, so here is your calling, anything related to the call. And as you can see, my extensions, my phone numbers, well, I should have used my extension this range, but I can change it later. Then you have the contact center. Now you notice as soon as you click on the contact center, it now gives you all these additional settings on the left hand side, which was not there before. Now, before you had to use this portal right here, Webex Contact Center Management Portal. If I click on this, a different browser comes up, and here I can log in as my account, the admin account. Again, I cannot use the supervisor account for my day-to-day administration. That is for different purposes. When you log into your Webex Contact Center, this is what you will see. And of course, all the configurations here. Now you see how the provisioning, all these items that you see, they are now available in your Control Hub. Okay, right in here. So we'll walk you through how to configure them. Now remember, in our lecture on video for the contact center, we do cover the old method, but this video we're going to be focusing mostly on the new user interface. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hopefully you understand how to maneuver through your contact center environment and Webex Control Hub. And until then, I will see you in the next video.